I was attacked yesterday afternoon. I wasn't going to talk about this, but my guides were telling me that it was very important that I share this message and what I have been walking through for the last 12 hours. If you are a spiritual guide or a spiritual leader or on a spiritual journey, then this is for you. When you are doing the spiritual work, when you are a part of the ground crew, when you are a light worker, a light warrior, you are here to do really big things. You are on a mission. You are on a mission to raise the consciousness of this planet. And when you are doing such big work, there are times where you are going to have to heal really big shit. And that can come in the way of spiritual attacks. That can come in the way of entities that try to attack you. And I have been walking through this for the last 12 hours. It's not my first rodeo, but this is so, it's like one of those things that you need to talk about as a spiritual guide and a spiritual leader and a soul activator, but it's not, this isn't easy. This isn't easy. Okay, so yesterday, it's actually been happening. If I tap into it, it's actually been happening since Tuesday. But yesterday was when I was brought the awareness of what it actually was. So if you were on my lives or whatever, Tuesday, I believe it was, I had a huge purge. I cleared a huge layer, a huge level, a huge bundle of unconscious energy for the collective that I had taken on years and years and years ago as a part of my soul contract. And yesterday afternoon, these entities showed up in my space and were spiritually attacking me. And what that looked like in the physical realm, because I know a lot of my work here is to be a bridge from the spiritual realms to the physical realms and to explain more in depth of this stuff, is that I immediately felt sick. I purged on Tuesday when I was clearing out both ends, if you want to know. Um, but yesterday I got this huge wave and it made me nauseous. It made me beyond tired. I could barely keep my eyes open. And so when I tapped in, I got still and I tapped in and I asked my guides to support me. And I called in the angelic realm, who I work with, and was shown these entities. And how I want to share with you clairvoyantly how they look because I just want to be completely transparent. They were these entities that showed up in my space that looked like they were wearing black, full head to toe black. All you could see was this black, like, looked like a garment, a black garment. And their hands were like these webby black tar, and they just like moved with tar, and they were grasping at my energy. And at one point, one grabbed my shoulder, and I was able to clear it and reassign it back to the astral because these beings, these entities, these low frequency beings, they're just here to um, really try to take you down, honestly. And it was no coincidence that at this time, after I was working with my energy and working with my team and reassigning these beings and removing this big, I had to remove this big control panel that showed up. Let me also say that, and if this resonates with you, you will know, like you will feel a resonance and you will be intrigued, right? I don't know how many people this is going to reach. It's going to be my longest video so far. Um, but you'll get it. And as we heal things, we have these ancient energies in us, low frequencies in us, and high frequencies, but we have low frequencies. And as we're doing this work and we go up in frequency, then entities that can come in, new entities can come in, and it activates these ancient frequencies and things. And so I had a big control panel, and it looked like a metal just control panel. Think of a control panel, it had all these buttons on it, and these entities were trying to grab and push these buttons to like activate these low frequencies in my body. And they were successful to some degree. because I wouldn't have felt that way if I didn't. But I know as an alchemist, as a healer, as a spiritual guide, that it was showing up to be brought to the light so that I could heal it and disintegrate it and move it out, right? And so, but it took me down, and I'm still coming out of it. Because when you remove that much low frequencies from your body, and when I removed this control panel, I created an energetic design to replace it with, because that's what you do as an alchemist. You take high photon bands of light, frequency, energy, energetic design, fractal designs, algorithms, logarithms, all of this stuff, and then you replace what you removed so that there's not this just like hole energetically. You replace it with light. So I did that, and I started to feel better. And I reassigned the entities that showed themselves to me, because at the core, they are created by source and they just need healing because they're wrapped in low frequencies and functioning in the dark. And so, a big point of me making this video is that just because somebody's on a spiritual journey, like the spiritual journey is not all love and light, it's actually meeting the darkness. And there was no coincidence that when this happened, there was actually something in my physical world. I went into the kitchen and I told my husband, like, I'm being attacked right now. And he was like, well, this just happened, which is in connection to me. And he goes, so this might be associated. And I tapped in and it was. So there was like this physical activation that occurred as well. So again, this is just frazzled, and, it is what it is. But there's this vision that I was shown that the more that we can see, know, hear, feel the low frequencies and the high frequencies, the better off we are. Because a lot of people go through their life being spiritually and energetically attacked and just think, oh, this is just how life is. I'm supposed to feel like shit. This is supposed to, I just don't feel good, right? But a lot of times it is so much deeper than that. It is so much more than that. And we have to, that's why I do the work that I do, is so that we can have the awareness around what really is occurring, because it could be ancient energies, it could be ancient frequencies, it could be all of these things that are being brought to the surface to be healed. Because all the dis-ease in our body, we're not meant to feel sick, we're not meant to be sick. As somebody who's healed herself from neurological Lyme disease with this work, when they say it's incurable, right? We're not meant to be sick. It's just low frequencies from this lifetime, past lifetimes, entities, beings that are not supposed to be in your space, things, doorways open, energetic windows open, like all of these things that I could talk about for hours and hours and hours. The work I do with my clients, right? That we get to be aware of so that we can then bring the light and infuse the light and create new, beautiful crystalline designs. And so I've just been going through it. And this is my first video like this, and it is what it is. And like I said, it's going to reach who it's meant to reach. And the vision is that we are meant to face the darkness to be able to infuse more light and to bring things to the light, which I hope is what this video does for somebody, makes them understand that you're not alone and that this is a part of the process, but you don't have to sit with it. And the more you clear your divine channels of communication, clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, claircognizant, psychic, telepathic, transmedium, kundalini, sexual channels, the more you clear those, the more you repair and realign and, replace your chakra systems. You take your four etheric bodies up, and like the more you do this work, the more awareness you're going to have and the quicker you're going to move through it. Because in the past, I would have just been like, oh, I'm sick. I don't feel good. I'm tired. But now I have the awareness to actually heal what shows up. And it's not always pretty. This has not been pretty at all. And I'll talk more about this, but I just needed to kind of get this out. Somebody needs to hear this. If that's you, let me know. Somebody needed to hear this.